Now, we've talked about team racing a lot this season. We had kind of a new thing where the team racing season ends back in April before they do a condensed co-ed racing season. So we don't have a lot of time left to talk about this, but this is going to be another great regatta. 16 teams this year, up from 14. The way they managed to do this, some very smart people with spreadsheets figured out how they can eliminate extra time by doing rolling starts. They've got extra boats at St. Mary's, so they'll be able to keep these races rolling, and they should get just as many races as they always have, but with 2 more teams. So this is going to be super exciting. It's just like we saw last year with 4 teams from Mesa, 4 teams from NISA. This means the best team racing teams in the country really will be at Nationals.
So the desired format is going to be one big round of 16 where everybody races everybody, and after that round we'll split into a top 8, bottom 8 situation, assuming there's enough breeze for a bottom 8, and after that a final 4. So like every year, it's really, really difficult to sneak into the final 4. I think there's a few teams out there that are relative shoo-ins, I should say, or that definitely belong. Teams like, I think Yale and Stanford are head and shoulders better than everybody else at this point in the game, but we can't leave out St. Mary's. I think is possibly a favorite to win this event. They've been second the last 2 years. They've already been sailing better this season than they have in the last 2 seasons, I think, regular season-wise, and we know how well they train in the postseason. Beyond that, you're looking at like a Georgetown, I think, makes it into the Final 4. Roger Williams, after they just came off the NISA win, so obviously they're a major threat. College of Charleston, always good in the team racing. And I think Tufts could actually surprise the world and sneak in there. They showed some really good speed, really disciplined team racing at the NISA Champs, and I think that they could make it in there as well.
Yeah, I feel like St. Mary's is like the new sports car that's coming out that's driving around the test track with like covers on it and decoy shapes and stuff so the photographers can't see what it is. They're off training on an island somewhere for the past 5 weeks, getting ready. They do this every year. Will they be good enough to compete with Stanford and Yale? These 2 teams are awesome. They're better than, I think, the top teams have been the past couple of years. You know where my heart lies here. I have to nod to Stanford for the win, but I think it's going to be an incredibly close Final 4, an incredibly close regatta. I wouldn't be surprised if they win by, a tiebreaker or a single point or maybe 2. I don't think anybody's going to run away with it.
Chris, I think that was a very stupid analogy, but I think that your argument could hold some water. St. Mary's certainly could be looked at as the team to beat just based on being runner-up the last 2 years and being so good already this season. That being said, I just don't see them getting past Yale. I think Yale is just too well-rounded a team looking across the board. They're too solid at starting, too fast. Their coaching staff is far too handsome. I just don't see anybody being able to get them. I think Stanford may be a big threat as well from a boat speed perspective, but history shows us that Stanford has issues, and I just don't feel comfortable picking them to come out on top. So I'm looking at Yale pulling it off right after winning the women's, and St. Mary's with a close second.
You think the coaching is what really sets Yale apart? Is that because you're involved, Zeke, or what?
I don't need to comment on that. I just think that they have the best coaching staff that college sailing has ever seen, and they're just going to be good enough to get it done.
Well, I think Georgetown is one team that is always usually consistent. They're in the top 4. They might have a great regatta, and I don't think we should count them completely out for getting a top 2 position. That's how I feel.
I love the end of it. That's how I feel. No one can argue with that because it's like...
That's how I feel.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, Georgetown, always a good team. I think that 4th spot, though, perhaps Georgetown will make it in there. It's always a battle for 4th, and it's always an honor. I think BC, Charleston, Roger Williams, Georgetown, all vying for that 4th spot, not thinking that they're going to make it into the top 3, but, only time will tell.
Hey, who do you guys think is going to win?
I need a coin.
I'm going to say St. Mary's for the win. Big 1-0.
Well, as long as we've established this theme here, let's hear from Zeke, another former national champion who's also a host of Chalk Talk. Zeke, what does it take to win a team race national?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Chris. There is a formula to winning this regatta, to winning the wood, as everybody seeks to do. And I'll preface by saying that this is something I didn't realize until after we had won it. And I think one of the most important things to realize is that everybody is still learning. The learning curve is still so steep for everybody that's in college sailing while team racing, and realizing that this is probably the best regatta that you've sailed in team racing in your entire life, and you have to be able to take advantage of that steep learning curve and your ability to learn from mistakes throughout this regatta. We always talk about peaking at the right time. It doesn't necessarily mean prior to this event. You don't have to be the best team you're going to be on day one, but you got to be the best team you're going to be by the end of the regatta, and continuing to learn, taking advantage of the best team racing that you're doing, and just keeping that steep learning curve, staying hungry, being able to learn from your mistakes is huge. Losing well, it's something I talk about a lot, but the team that loses the best is going to oftentimes have the most win streaks. And everybody's going to lose at this regatta. Everybody's probably going to lose twice in a row, but it's from the shoulders up at that point. How are you going to handle that? How are you going to move on? And I'll tell you the answer. It's smiling a lot. You have to have fun. The reason we won the Team Race Nationals is we had the most fun of anybody there. And as corny as that sounds, that is what it takes. We don't have time. It's the big race. We don't have time to be down on ourselves and lose races because of our attitude. That's something that you can control. So you have to control it. You have to smile, and you have to continue to learn. Okay, so also proper use of the umpires. Huge thing. Umpires are eager at the Nationals to throw flags, so you have to be very careful about not getting on the bad side of an umpire, but also just don't use them. If you're using umpires, you're likely losing races. So proper use of the umpires, looking out for Rule 42 always seems to come up a lot at the Team Race Nationals. So just be smart about your boat handling and be smart about when you're using umpires. Lastly, I think got to take care of your body. These are long races. If your brain starts to shut down, you're going to lose races quickly. So keeping hydrated, keeping fed, those are the keys. So good luck to everybody.
All right, thanks for that, Zeke. And before we go, let's also give a nod to Zeke for being way ahead in this year's prediction contest. Almost uncatchable. Katie, you're 3 points out. The only way for you to overtake Zeke is to get all three of your Nationals picks right, have him get all three wrong, and of course I will give you the tiebreaker if that happens because your hair is longer.
Thanks, Chris. I appreciate it. I've gone with my feeling all season, and apparently my gut has been off. But if I am wrong, I will dress up like my favorite coach from college sailing. I know you're all curious to see who that is, so tune in. Yep.
So you're saying there's a wager this year. Whoever wins doesn't have to dress up like their old sailing coach.
I'm saying there's a chance.
All right, I'm in.
On that note, we'll see you all next Tuesday after Team Race Champs is over.
Have fun at Nationals.